Alright. Welcome everybody. We got ourselves another Simulation Sunday community live stream today. How is everybody doing? We have RMG, welcome to chat, and Chosen, welcome to chat. First few questions. RMG says EU or like anytime US. The time is right now. And then Chosen says hello. Hello Chosen, how is it going? Welcome to chat. So if some of you have been paying attention to what has been coming down, it looks like I was right. It looks like we are going to get the first patrol for 2026 this coming Tuesday. And it looks like we're going to be getting an iconic ability with that. It looks like an exobyte power. I'm guessing it's based on Lucia's character, but when she, like her, I guess the first version of her character. So basically, when she was like stealing exobyte powers or whatnot, something of that nature. But it looks like we're getting that ability as an iconic ability, and then it looks like we're also going to get a new artifact as well. So it looks like we'll finally be getting the Razor artifact for the for Tuesday. Unfortunately, we didn't get that much gameplay about it, and it brought up more questions than it answered. So hopefully we'll get into that and we can take a look and see what comes from that. I thought it had an ability that you would use. Actually, it's just a function that comes up every so often. When it comes up, it comes up. And it looks like they definitely changed the details. Because I think its old version had like close to like 200-second cooldown for the ability, and now it looks like it's at 100 seconds. So they basically cut the cooldown in half. So definitely some changes made in the background to make it more of an attractive ability or artifact. So part of me would feel like if I were some of the devs, maybe it was a little bit of a little bit of that leak maybe might have been intentional. I don't know if it was or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was intentional to kind of get a better idea of what people thought was, if it was OP or not, or if it needed a little bit of work. So yeah, it seems to be very interesting. The sad thing is from people that I was talking to was that the testing that was kind of shown with it was in like leveling content. So it just didn't really show the full strength of the artifact, and kind of confusing for people that are trying to see it in relevant numbers. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait on that and see what we get when we take a look at it. But I have Tuesday off, so I'll probably end up having to go ahead and try that, and we will take a look at that Tuesday and see how well it works. Because I'll at least get it on my healer character, and if it works out really good, then I might look at using it for all my characters. So we'll just have to take a look at that. Chosen says, to be honest, a new iconic power ability may work for my DCUO character. Yeah, it's very interesting. It seems like some of the abilities allow it to do much crazier things. It just depends on the PI that you use. And I think that's going to be very important for some people, especially when it comes to dictating what abilities come. Because it looks like this ability will basically proc whatever bonuses there are or abilities depending on what PI has been applied to those ads or those characters or whatever, slightly before it's used. So So if that's the case, then it's like, okay, then I have to kind of think to myself, like, okay, what do I need to have in my lineup for my loadout to make sure that I get the full benefits of this thing? So it has a very high potential of having to change around your loadout to make it work perfectly. I just gotta see if the damage is worth it, because it seems like the second set of PIs that was on there gave it like a massive stat boost, and obviously everybody's gonna want that. So it's gonna be very favorable to a certain set of powers, unless you're using an ability that also adds their PI appliers, even if you're not the right power. So yeah, that's gonna be something that's gonna be very interesting to look at. So you know, everybody have to kind of be very smart about how they go about it. It looks like it's a single target only ability, but I'll have to take a look Tuesday and see if that is something that could be kind of like added towards like other like targets. See if it's worth it to go for more people, because everybody wants abilities that hit hard but can also hit other targets hard as well as the primary one, if possible. But we'll have to take a look and see that. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some styles here today, and then we'll kind of talk, and I'll take questions as we do that. Alright. So let's look at Villain over here, because I did see him earlier. Let's see. We got Villain. There we go. So I kind of like the villain aesthetic. I kind of find the pants kind of crazy, like the Mayan pants. It's quite different for the character. It's not bad. Let's see. We've got Mon over here. Let's take a look. So I like the chest style. The only bad thing about the chest style is you can't put an emblem on it, but otherwise it's not too bad. I feel like this chest style though, even though the tone works really good, it's like that chest style never really, however the chest style was made, it was very weird at the way that it was made. It just didn't have the same form as like other like chest styles, so it always like clips through belts or goes over the side of pants or whatnot. It was always a very weird chest style. The proportions of it was kind of odd, but yeah, it's not bad. You know, for like the kind of like the militia look, it's not terrible. We got Hephaestus over here. I mean, I kind of like the gloves with that. Kind of makes sense for that. Very nice. Alright. We got Morph X over here. Let's see. Here we go. So I've seen some people make some of these styles based on these characters. There is a Knight Rider, to my knowledge, that actually has like wings on him, and I actually thought that was pretty cool. So even though I don't really know the character super well, I know there is like a Ghost Rider that has like the fiery like head with like the wings and whatnot. So I actually think that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool there. And then we have Chaos Lord over here. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not bad. I kind of wish there was a different color for the hands or feet or something slightly different. But I mean, I do like the shoulders, how they kind of hug into like the neckline of this chest style. That's very nice. Let's take a look here. We got Joe Fell over here. Joe Feel. Let's find it. Here we go. Alright. So very nice angelic style. I have Unk over here saying, yo, Iconic, have you seen any good Daredevil styles as of late? I have not really seen any as of late. I know we have someone here that's got a Daredevil style. I'm not sure or not. I mean, this style's okay, but I feel like the chest style, like, this isn't bad, but I feel like the pants are really like very form-fitting, and the chest style not as much. I'm not crazy about the 31st styles because the chest styles and the leg styles don't seem to be very form-fitting, and you lose a lot of that muscle definition with these shirts. So this isn't bad, but I feel like you lose a lot of detail with certain styles like that. It's the little things like that that you notice. We got Princess Wonder Woman here. So I'll notice that some people will use these for the briefs instead of like the other things. That's actually quite respectable. I don't mind if they end up using the cosmic material. That, or sometimes they'll use the other star material. I'm trying to think of its name. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know if I'll have it on this character now that I'm thinking about it. The Star Stitch material. I don't know if I'll have it on this guy. No, I won't have it on there. It'd be right there. Star Stitch is another one people use, and it's not bad either. Star Stitch is another good cosmic base material. And then we have Connor L over here. So we got ourselves kind of like Superboy inspired like Sinestro Corps style. I mean, it's a pity though, because he's got all this stuff, he just doesn't have the Sinestro Corps emblem. But it's very nice though. Very nice. That's the only detail missing there. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. RMG says EU or US? US. We are the US server. US on US server next to Little Bohemia. And then we have Hellblazer John over here. Alright. There we go. So this is very much like a Valentine's like inspired style there. A little hearts thing. I like the little like the lovely filter on the facing. That's kind of cute. I've never really used it in any styles, but you know, never really played around with it much, to be honest. Okay, it looks like we have another Mon-El hanging out and about. Let me see if I can remember what name we had for them again. I think it was a Namor. Alright, there we go. So here's another Mon-El. I wish the gold was a little more gold, but I think it is an improvement on the style. Like, I think I'd rather have this. I think they use the same pants. Very good. I like the pants. The pants work really good for the most part. I think for mine, I did end up using though the damaged lantern, and I actually didn't wear any boots. That's what I used for mine, but I think I might have used this chest style. But yeah, so it looks like it's like a Namor, like mashup between him and Monel. And then we have Omnivirus over here. Josen says, where should I post my 34-second clip of my DCUO style on the Discord? Just curious is why I'm asking. Most people will put them in the style show off channel. You can put them there if you'd like, or you could put it in the general chat. And then if I see it, I'll take a look. Then we have Farah over here. But yeah, I really like the hands and feet. I really like that. Very good style pieces. Still figuring out things that I'd use it for. And then we have Arthur J. Curry over here. We're gonna swap off onto this character. Okay, I think I've maybe seen them before. It's like a Atlantean like base character. Alright. Then we have Bart over here. So we got ourselves like a little Flash character. It looks like it's based on like Kid Flash. It's not bad. I like the little track boots. Maybe something, maybe a tad more close to the boots for the hands, but it's not bad. It's all right. Something that's a little more split. That looks like the boots a little more. All right, and then we have Uncanny Cinch over here. Moo says, I finally made it to a live stream. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So this is pretty nice style. I feel like the gloves and the chest style work really well together for the most part. Yeah. Not crazy about the glossy hair, but I think everything else works out pretty good. Somebody asked about like one of the skins, was asked about which skins had like glowing eyes, and I realized all the suggestions I had told them. You know, I was like, okay, this skin has it, this one, and I was thinking, I was like, wait, I was like, all these are either from like a time capsule or like a booster bundle. I was like, yeah, so all the ones that have like the different like colored eyes and things, it's like they're, you know, they're kind of on the harder side to, you know, to get things done there. So yeah, so I, you know, at that point it was like, to get that specific glow in the eyes, it's like, yeah, that's gonna cost you something. Unless you got like the mutant skin with you know, like the marketplace deal. That's probably your best bet there. I actually like this. This is supposed to be like the absolute Flash. Very nice. Yeah, it's pretty on brand for the character. Very nice. Scroll, make sure I don't miss anything. Alright. And then we have Sergi Kraken. Let's see. It's not bad. I'd probably use some material on the boots though. Something on the boots, waist, and legs. But I like that they got the like the leopard skin on the chest style. Very nice. All right. So I'll look at a few more styles here, then I think I'm going to switch to another phase. Let's look at Martian Hunter Man here. Very nice. I probably would have used different material for like the red, to be honest. Something like cloth based, because I feel like the red doesn't match the rest of the different materials here. Like it's definitely like, if you were like to add a material for like, I don't know, for like maybe the face style or something, maybe that'd be kind of cool. But yeah. And then we have the Wonder Woman over here. I like the material that they use for the bracers. I'm trying to look at that. I'm not sure there is a material on it. There could be. It's probably like the Lifelike chroma or something maybe. But like I told you guys, from what I saw, the rewards that they went ahead and announced for the 2026, the rewards for the 2026 patrols and for the campaign in 2026, they actually have a version, a fully customizable version of the toon shaded chroma. They actually have a tintable version of it. I could have told people about that. I was like, I know that they're able to do it. So it was only a matter of time, and I wasn't that very surprised to see that it was one of the rewards. So I probably would have given all my like characters the lasso, but no real point, since the one is literally something you can't get right now. I'd probably go for the customizable toon shaded material. That's probably the route I would go. So I wasn't that surprised to see it, but definitely something interesting to see. Oh wait, who do we got back here? Alright, take a quick glance. We got like a little Thanos character there. So we have Yaruza here. So it looks like they kind of have like a, I don't know, I really like this. I think this works well with like the plating. So yeah, very nice. I like the purple on there. Not bad. I actually like that. Here, I'm gonna go with this. And then we have PPZ. It looks like he's got his version of like Magneto's. I really like the torn suit look on this. Yeah, if only he had the if only he actually had like the metal spheres from survival mode, that'd be kind of cool. But I kind of get it, you know, he's working with this, so, but still very nice, very nice. And then we have Captain America Mustang. Joe says, okay, just post in the Style Show tab on Discord. Unk says, do you think it's worth getting the base mod feats? Are they difficult to craft? No, they are not difficult to craft. I think they may be a little source mark heavy, but they're very doable. Back in the day, they used to be much worse, and I think we've got something very easy now in terms of like base mods. So I don't think there's really that much of an excuse now. I think we can readily make those actually quite well. There's been multiple DLCs where I did that was like the first thing I did. I didn't do that this time around, just because I was focusing on other things. But it's not because that they're harder to do or something of that nature. They're just not. Base mods are really worth it. You get a very nice bump in stats. Let me take a look here. I know that and getting the reg suit are like the only things I actually have to do that's left. So see, so I already got my weapon. Here's my OP style stuff there. So all I have to do is just do 12 mods and then do my reg style, and then I'm pretty much done with the DLC. Well, not done with the DLC, but done for now until they bring more feats out, right? That's when we'll have more to do. But it'll have me kind of finished up a little bit for now until then. And I like doing that so that if there's anybody that like needs me or league mates that want to run something, I can kind of do it at my leisure. I don't like to always be having a lot of things to do on my plate when I get into the game. I just don't want to do that. I feel like I should have a little bit of downtime so that I can have my own agency and decide what I want to do at that particular moment. I don't want to have to feel like I have like 10 things to do. So I like to knock as much off as I possibly can. So yeah, that's how I kind of work it. So Unk says, "Oh, I seen that. I was surprised. I've been saying that they should have done that. Now that's one of the best materials up there with shaded comic. Actually, I feel like it's up there as being one of the best materials with the glossy shaded. I mean, with the glossy material, the glossy finish. The shaded is all right, but I feel like it's too much shading. I feel like it's I feel like it's got too much shading, and for me, it's not a very popular material. At least in my opinion, it's got too much. And I feel like you can mimic flesh tones better with the glossy finish or the wet paint material than you could with the shaded comic. That's how I kind of feel about it. Yeah, that's how I kind of feel about the material hierarchy. But people like the shading effect of the shaded comic, but I feel like when it comes down to actually like see like the shading tone here, like they're using wet paint, but I feel like this matches better than wearing like shaded comic with it. I think it's just a glaring difference that you're gonna see, that it's not quite the same at all. That's how I kind of see it. And Cho says, be honest, I hadn't selected a single style for my main tune since I changed the original up to 5 times now. Yeah, so I don't know, for me, my character's styles are kind of always in like some sort of a rotation for the most part. That's kind of normal for my character. Is this what I think it is? It's kind of funny. I like that. But yeah. So that's how I kind of see it. So I could have guessed that was probably going to be the case. Now we just need a metallic, fully customizable material. That would be top notch. So, hopefully we get that. That'd be kind of cool. So, I think I've seen everybody here. or everybody that I've already seen before. Let me turn around here real quick. We got Daiquiri over here. Alright, very nice. Let's see. Alright, I've pretty much seen these. We got Play Toy over here. Okay, this is the little accessory I was talking about. Yeah, this is kind of cute. Yeah, you get the little guy on the back. Very nice. Alright. I'm going to swap over to this. And if we have a little bit of time left over, then I will go ahead and jump to the new open world and do the weeklies. Because I know some people haven't got their weeklies done. I don't have them done on this character, so it's a great opportunity there. It's a great opportunity to take a quick look at that. So I'll see if I can get into phase 1 again, and if not, I'll just go ahead and jump to the weeklies. All right. So we'll jump into there one last time, take a quick look, and then I think we'll jump over to the open world. We got Hall over here. Unk says, man, you are fast with these feats, almost 100% on DLC already. Trust me, in comparison to other people, I'm actually pretty slow. but I appreciate it. For me, I try to knock. So here's kind of my process when it comes to that, because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this is fueled by like replay badges and all that. So it's not 100% fair to the point to where, oh, you know, like you got it done quick. Yeah, you're gonna get it done quick if you got replay badges, 100%. But for me, I try to really start out with the feats that I can do on my own by myself on this on my character. So I do a lot of the open world feats, and then I'll do the bounty spam feats, and then I'll do like solo feats. Then I kind of work my way up to alert feats if there's any raid feats. So I kind of leave the group aspect items last, and I always try to do kind of like all of the stuff that I can control right off the bat, like the counter feats, like the solo counter feats. I try to do all of them. First thing. So for me, that's like the best. That's kind of like the best thing to like go about things. So that's what I try to do. That's kind of my process when I sit down and I'm like, okay, what do I need to knock out? And that's what I try to knock out first. Knock out what you can do yourself personally on your own terms, like now, whatever you can do. So I try to clean up like solo feats so I don't have to go into the solo anymore. And like, let me see if I can try to give you guys some examples here. Story arcs. Here we go. So the great thing about like suit style feats like this, if you have multiple characters, you can have like each character buy like 2 pieces. So let's say that, oh, okay, this, like, I'll have this character buy head and shoulders. I'll have, you know, Iconic probably buy chest, back. Healer will buy hands, waist, and then other character will buy legs and feet. And then I'll have them go over in the style menu. I'll go on Iconic on the style menu, and I'll have them style unlock all the pieces of that specific style set. So let's say that this was the style set. It's not, but let's say it was. I would, you know, of course, go on Iconic, buy every piece, and then boom, I'd get the feat for the whole style. But I didn't have to buy all the gear pieces on one character. No, I had multiple characters buy the style pieces, use them so that they have the styles collected. Go in on the menu with Iconic and buy the style pieces of all the pieces on every part. Or it'd say like unlock styles, But since Iconic had all the styles, when I'd hit unlocks all styles, it would just be all the styles of like what was left, basically the new stuff that I had brought in. So that's kind of the route that I go with a lot of that stuff to save like marks and stuff. And when it comes down to like the base mods, I'll have one character buy one base mod, one buy another, and then Iconic buy one. And then I have them transfer in the shared bank the mod boxes for the base mods, so that he's also saving like marks. He's not using marks like like crazy. So that's another way that you can save marks. These boxes here, like the assembly plan, that was something also that was very big. You got quite a bit from. Elite stuff kind of takes a little bit if you're waiting on the Mogo crystals. I'm gonna try to see what I was. So I actually soloed the alerts, and I would actually just go in. At the beginning, I wasn't even like, I was just soloing the regular one, and so I would go into the first boss where the lantern constructs were. I'd go in, kill like the 3 sets of them that would come down, and then I'd basically wipe, let her take me out, bleeds, and then I'd start all over, and that's how I got this feat. I was just farming the ads in the first boss fight. And then everybody saw the video with this guy, so all these are pretty much intertwined together. But yeah, there's a lot of feats within the solo, and it's literally, you can literally just go to the last boss and kill the ads that are in there and not do the objectives. Don't stand in the circle as a blue lantern. Don't stand in the circle. Just go ahead and just keep killing the ads that spawn up. That's all. That's literally what all this is. It's just kill the ads and don't let them. Just keep taking them out till you see the feet spawn. And then of course here you go, Vice and all that. And then this is just all the open world stuff. This just takes time. That just takes time. Unk says, "Oh, smart. Never really thought about that. Maybe I should get some replay badges when they're on sale. Thanks for the tips." Yeah. So that's kind of the route that I go with stuff like that. It's just all about trying to be as effective as possible and seeing where your biggest benefits are. And yeah, so that's what I look at. That's what I look at, and that's how I get a lot of those feats done. It's because, I just really focus on them, and I try to do it the smartest way I can possible, and without wasting too much time. And if I, need people in League or whatever, then, I'll ask them, but I like to be self-sufficient. But all in all, the best thing about the queue up system is that you can kind of go in, queue up by yourself, go ahead and get what you need to get done, without having to, get a full group or anything. That's why people just didn't realize how big the private queue system is until you try to go for things like this. If you can survive it, if you can go ahead and run the content, if you can do all this stuff to get yourself, ahead, and get in there, and if you can do the content, you don't have to deal with trying to get everybody in there. There you go. You've got you're set. Like you're better than set. You can just get your stuff and get out. So so instead of going into the alert multiple times with multiple groups and trying to grind it out that way, and then doing the last boss and taking forever and just taking all this time, no, I can just queue myself in and wipe multiple times after I did, because it only does like 3 sets of ads. So I recognize that pattern. Okay, it's only 3 sets of ads, and there's this many set of ads per wave of ads. So you do the math. I think it was like 12 ads per set of ads. So you get 36 per run. If you were to think of one single attempt, and then you wipe and then you reset that. So you wipe and then she's at full health again. You got to restart the whole boss all over again, but that's another opportunity for you to get more of those ads. So that's what I did. So it's all about just finding where you can get the most of them at one time and taking advantage of that, and getting it done. So that's what I kind of recommend. If you're a battle tank, like, this is your era. Like, you can do whatever you need to do to get stuff done. Yeah. So take advantage of it when while you can. Take advantage of being able to solo things. You could run the alert. You don't have to be super strong to run the alert. You can get whatever you need done. This is actually kind of nice. I wish his eyes glowed a little bit or had something going on, but I like it. Justice Lords, Green Lantern. All right. We got Francis G. Castle. So Cosmic Ghost Rider here. I kind of like the dark chroma, cosmic chroma dip better, but it could be worse. It's not terrible, but it would definitely be an improvement to this one. All right, so I think we're good here. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump to the open world while I'm getting damaged like massively here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the new open world. If you guys have tunes that you want to run to go ahead and get your weeklies done, this is your opportunity. I'm going to run Vice, and then we're going to go ahead and run the Red Lantern Facility Weekly. So let me see. I'll go over. Actually, I'm just going to go to him from here. Try to find a phase that has maybe a little more people here. Let's get one a little closer. I mean, I'll try 7. Let's try 7. If it's got a decent amount, we'll roll with that. Alright, this one's a little closer. I think this will be a little more promising. Alright, if I don't see people here, I mean, I'll probably start that in a little bit if I don't see anyone here. Alright, activate turrets. Okay, so I'm going to head back to this guy over here, device, and just start on this one. So it is phase 3. So if you need phase 3, this is your opportunity. Let's do my battle tank. The nice thing about the Blue Lantern ability is that it actually heals your pets, even if you're like. So you don't have to be a healer to heal your pets with that ability. So that's kind of nice. I mean, like, so you get some nice healing for Brick. Use our orbital henchmen. Just bring it all out. Look at that, he's almost at the 3/4 health, so not bad. Yeah, they're just getting absolutely destroyed. All right, looks like Vice is down for the count. I've had a person or two ask, like, oh, what would we use for a head style if we wanted to make Vice in the game? And the only head style I can really think of off the top of my head that I'd probably use for him would be like Aegis of Eternity, but it's still a very rough head style to be using for him. Just a very not a very it's just a very kind of complex character to try to make a style for, just because the head style is kind of weird, you know. We call him a banana head back in the day. What's up, Joffrey? How's it going, man? Welcome. Hunk says, so solo build going crazy. Nice. Yeah. So basically, got his pet buff. You have White Lantern ability into Supercharge Generator, and then Breakout. And then you have his buff again, and then you have Lava into Weapon buff. And then you go Jackhammer, Omega. Then you swap back Pet buff, Clip, and then you could probably go like this real quick, and then whatever, buff, that. So you can kind of make it work however you want, you know? Like, you can swap between whatever works for you. Alright. I like how the Blue Lantern's like a knockback and a heal. Alright. Is this the first one? Yeah, this should be the first one. Kind of just rotate between what you got. And then use your Omega. And they just get destroyed. And I ended up changing the weapon on this guy to a one-handed. Because I like the new weapon style, and it's like one-handed's really good for tanking as well. So I was like, you know, it's acceptable. And then look at that, just obliterated. I mean, it's nicer when you have it's nicer when you have when you have a good synergy to your build, right? And what I'm using for artifacts, if you're curious, is Book, Mercy, Tornado, Ebon, and Omega. That's what I'm running. And then allies, I think it's, yeah, I could probably throw Flash in instead of this one. Now that I think about it, I got Flash on him. Because I think before I was actually running, before that I was running another artifact. So I could actually run Flash. It'd be way better. Definitely a lot more supercharged retention there. Let's see. I should have them on here. There we go. Equip. There. Should be much better. Alright. We got the big boy coming out. Look at that. He's gone. Look at that. Just obliterated. Look at that. So you pull them in and then you knock them back. actually, yeah, the weapon style. Well, you can't see with this cover. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. All right. So there you go. So that's the weeklies there. Kind of nice. I think it's definitely an improvement over what we had for like Raging Knight. Not gonna lie, didn't really care for the for kind of like protect the barrier sort of thing. This, I don't know. I feel like this was better. A lot less of a chance of failure than those. I feel like you need a lot more people to be able to make that, like, for that to get like pulled off successfully. Unk says, might have to steal that build from you. Yeah, go for it. 100%. Joffrey says, can you please make a new DCUO Superman and DCEU Superman with a new absolute chest style and maybe the DCEU Batman? Well, the first two, or the first one's gonna happen for sure. I've just had a lot of stuff happen as of lately, so I actually had to push my style video back. I'm gonna see if I can't work on some of it tonight. I also had a surprise project that I was working on a couple days ago. Had a little bit of a little bit of I don't know. I wouldn't say a problem, more of like a little bit of a setback. I got to refilm the first half of it, or first part of it, but a lot of it's kind of like automated, so it should be fixed. But yeah, a lot of moving parts in the background and just whatever time allows. So I haven't forgotten about it. You know, it's just going ahead and trying my best to make sure that I can get what I can done. So it is in the background. It is being worked on, but it's taking a little bit of time just between what I got to deal with right now. But yeah. True Nebula says, what do you think of the Blue Lantern, Matt? When do you think it'll release? I think we're probably going to see it maybe... What month are we in? We're February? I think maybe April or May. Because what? This released in July? No, not July. It's January. January, February, March, April. I think either end of March or maybe beginning of April, you'll probably see it drop. That's when they usually do stuff like that. Is that usually at the end of the chapter's life cycle, basically, they'll drop a lot of this stuff. So I want to say probably March, maybe early April. That's what I think. So... yeah, so that's what I think. So I think you'll have that material come out. You may get a Gray Lantern material. That's what I would think. I'd be like, okay, you're not going to really have any more Gray Lanterns. I would think there'd probably be like a Gray Lantern material, maybe like a Gray Lantern battery or something like that. Maybe a Blue Lantern battery. I think, I don't know. It just depends on how, like, what sort of lanterns they plan on, like, using going forward in their stories. Because that either opens the book further for them to have more opportunities to make certain things for certain lanterns, or it closes the book on those and they're, you know, they're kind of running on borrowed time to make sure that we can get those at some point in some way, right? So I think we're definitely going to get the chroma, that's for sure, because, you know, we had the Life Flight chroma come down in the solo as you know, as part of the content, and then we ended up getting it as an actual reward you know, later on in the chapter's life cycle. So it only makes sense if you're going off of, you know, if you're going off of how do I say it, if you're going off of trends and patterns. That's what I would think. Like for me, that would make the most sense. So, you know, that's what I'm kind of thinking it's going to be. Not that it probably, you know, not absolutely that it will be, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what's going to happen. So, that's what I would consider. So we're probably going to get it at you know, March, April-ish. So, but that's very broad brush, but I think it'll hold true. So, I'll take another few more questions, and then I think we can close out the live stream. So go ahead and drop them down. I'm gonna go ahead and help them finish Vice over here. Alright, so it looks like Vice is down for the count. Oh no, he's still running around. Okay, alright. I was like, why are they still hanging around if he's already gone? Let's drop a orbital. Alright, now I think he's actually down for the count. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's take a look here. Chosen says, I'm mainly trying to think of a comic style for my DC Comics original character, aka my DCUO character, to make with the shaded comic material. Any tips on which style pieces I should use? It depends on what sort of comic style or character you're trying to make. And I think it often helps to know like who you're inspired by, basically. I think that's who you kind of want to look at. You want to take a look and do you want which character you want it to be based on. That kind of I feel like helps you find your footing in what you want to do with it. I feel like having a good basis of who you're being inspired by can kind of help you make your original character. It doesn't have to be exactly like the iconic, but I think it's worth trying to go in that route to kind of find your footing there. But yeah, I feel like the inspiration should come from you, but I feel like the maybe help in executing it after you kind of got the idea is what is something that I mainly can help with. But finding your inspiration, I feel like that's something that you really have to feel for your character and kind of figure out what you want to do with that. But otherwise, I'm the guy that kind of like makes it happen when it comes to styles and figures out the best style combinations for that. But yeah, that's something that takes a little bit of time, especially when it comes to like making content for it. It takes a little bit of time. Yeah, this isn't bad. This is kind of nice. Green Lantern, very slim profile. All right, and the blue light, so it kind of looks like it's two lantern types. Inspired by Superman. All right, yeah. They said I'm mainly going for a slim style to fit her for New Line comics as well. To be honest, inspired by Superman. So here's the thing. Somebody went ahead and they said that they wanted to. Here, let me see if I can go on my main. I'll show you one of the styles I came up with for the for one of the videos. Somebody asked me. They said, "Iconic, I would like to see an absolute universe version of your character." And I told them that I had already like made a heavy battle suit style, but I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, that may not be quite the same, but you know, maybe there's something we can go with that, right? So let me go ahead and see here real quick. One moment. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. But they said they wanted to go ahead and see an absolute version of my character, and I'm like, okay, sure. You know, like I'll make one, and that's what I did. So if my character was in the absolute universe, in my head he'd probably be a lot sleeker of a design, but it would be drastically different from like what my character looks like in game. Like, he's still gonna have the head style, but I feel like the overall aesthetic of him is gonna be different. So I think I have it in Limbo Town, where I have the armory, because it's not on any of my builds. I should probably put on a build, to be honest. But yeah, so I did make an absolute universe version of my character. So I'm like, okay, all right, you know, because I usually don't really do things like that too much. Like, usually stick to my character's, you know, style, and I kind of leave it at that, and then I kind of branch out when it comes to other styles. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. Let me see. This is this one. Yes, it's this one. Okay, all right. Let me go back to the House of Legends. Joffrey said, if inspired by Superman, you have over 40 different styles of Superman. If you make an absolute Superman, there are 2 styles, blue and black. But you said original characters are different in every universe. Yeah, it's good to use iconic characters as a baseline, but you can always branch out from that. So that's how I kind of take it. And so, alright, here we go, scene. There we go. So, this is what my character looks like in the absolute universe. Like, this is what I'd picture my character probably looking like. Like, this is the style I would go with. Obviously, I really love the absolute chest and legs from the Superman style. Maybe in this universe he uses some pieces, or he had he didn't have a Meso tech, instead he had Red Tornado tech. So you can see that he's got a lot of like the hands, boots, and shoulders of the Red Tornado tech instead of a Meso. So maybe he was kind of put together differently, and like, you know, his kind of his backstory, whatnot. And then, you know, like the belt's very nice. It matches the same circular shape of the glow, like the little yellow glow light on his hands. So very slimline, very low profile, but a very nice style. Maybe it's very dystopian because, you know, despite him having the tech, he's got like a shredded cape. So, you know, maybe it's dystopian in some way, and maybe he's like the last like bit of, you know, high-tech technology at that time. So that's kind of my interpretation of it, kind of my version of the character in the absolute universe. This is what I came up with, and I was very satisfied with it, and so I was like, okay, this will go in a video. So the next style video I put out will include this, and all the color codes and all the style pieces and everything used. But I wanted to also have like the techie part of the cloak have some sort of a feel to it, you know, not just a cloak, but it had to have like a tech vibe to it, so it has the Noir comic chroma on it. You know, and then he just had the giant Brainiac emblem on the front of the chest. It's obnoxiously large, but I love it, you know. It's very just overstated. It's in your face. It lets you know this is a Brainiac-inspired character from another universe, another influence. So, yeah, so there you go. So that's kind of what I came up with. but it went in a very different direction from where what my character usually looks like, in terms of his style, preferences. Um, so there you go. So so I really thought this tied well into what you were asking, Chosen. So um, that's kind of your inspiration there. It's like kind of figure out your backstory, what makes sense, and then try to make it come together and find the pieces that come together and work well with it. And and just spend a little bit of time, see what pieces work together, what works well, and there's always a part of me that always criticizes something that I put together and scrutinizes it, and it goes through like 3 to 4 versions before I come to what I like. And this is what I came up with, and I was actually super happy with this. I'm like, okay, I actually feel really like, you get that feeling where you're like, okay, I'm really good with this. It feels really good. I like it. No reservations about it. It turned out great. So yeah, so that's kind of what I came up with. So there you go. That's kind of your blueprint there. But I appreciate you all for taking your time to hang out with me on this Sunday evening. Go ahead and get yourselves ready for Tuesday, because it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be happening Tuesday. I'm sure everybody's going to be making videos or trying out new builds to see how this new artifact stacks up, see how the new iconic ability stacks up. You have the new patrol event that's going to be on the event tab. Just everything's going to be flipped over on its head, and everybody's going to be busy doing all this sort of stuff. This is why I want to get my episode finished as quickly as possible, so I don't have to deal with all that and this at the same time. I just don't want to. I tried to not have that happen. So, but there you go. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Stay cool, and I will see you all next time. Hopefully, I'll probably see you all Tuesday if you want to tune in and see my live stream. I'll probably rank up the artifact in the new iconic ability. Hopefully by then I probably have the new style video up. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll be trying for that if nothing goes wrong. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next one. Laters.